Welcome to Bigfoot
and the Bunny.
This is a couple's journey into the mysterious,
the unknown, and the paranormal.
I'm your host, Chris Carr.
And I'm your host, Kristen Johnson.
Together we are Bigfoot and the Bunny. And welcome to Bigfoot and the Bunny. Your host, Chris Carr.
And I'm Kristen Johnson.
Happy Saturday. And before we get started with anything, I want to wish my love a very happy birthday. It is Kristen's birthday tomorrow. And I know she doesn't want to talk about it.
No.
And had we had a little earlier start to our day, I would probably have a cake here for you.
That's fine.
But that's how things worked out. So happy birthday.
Thank you, baby.
We have a great show for you today, and we're going to get right to things. Oh, yeah, the cat ball is going off. Let's set up a couple of those magical cat balls behind us to see if anything might happen. And there it is. It's going off. Now, we can maybe debunk it. It might be us rolling around on the chairs, but it is interesting. Those bookcases are pretty stable, so we'll see if there's some activity. But we have a very special show. One of the folks we like in the paranormal, she is from Scotland, and she's often in our chats. And we recently heard her on another podcast and really loved her stories of the paranormal. And she went into fairies and some really cool stuff. Her name is Liz Milne. She's just joined us as we went live, so hopefully our audio is okay. We might have to do a quick check, but we're going to bring her on. Liz Milne from Scotland. Hello, Liz.
Hiya.
Yeah, we can hear you good.
Hiya.
Great. That worked out well. Let me fix our windows here. How are you?
Okay. I'm fine.
Well, it's nice to talk to you and sort of like person.
Sort of, but yeah.
You know, we've talked on Facebook and stuff before, and you recently were on a podcast that we got to hear and really enjoyed listening to your stories and telling us about your background. You're an active paranormal investigator, and I think you have something planned for tonight, correct?
Yeah, we're going to do a live tonight. Yeah. Me, my daughter, and my grandson. We're going to do a live tonight. Yeah.
Where are you doing the live from?
We're going to the old graveyard tonight. So we are.
When you say the old graveyard, what is that exactly? Is that just a nickname for it, or is it literally called the old graveyard?
No, it's called the Cut graveyard. It's right old. It's about, I think it's the 1600s or maybe further than that. That's the one we're going to tonight. So it is tonight.
Wow.
Because we went to that other one. Went to the other one last Saturday, and it was just me and my grandson. You know. Well, before that, I went there before with 3 adults and myself, and it was my son, my older son, and my 2 ladies that I know. And then we didn't catch anything. And then I went with my grandson last Saturday, and we caught talking at one of the graveyards. I think it was Spirit Kids, right enough. There was talking and was laughing. And then near the end, we walked around. I thought it was being smart, you know, because the last time we were there, but there was the live was at the wall, you know, going down the wall, and you've seen the faces. So I says, I'll put the live in this wall, Tyler. You can see the faces. So I did that, and then I turned round to the gravestones again, and then we heard the hello, you know. There was a magic.
Hello. Okay. I think that's an interesting thing to hear in a cemetery, and we've had that experience too, where we heard hello. And I was, well, okay, hello, you know, spirits of the cemetery. It's kind of an interesting experience and thing to say. So when you said that, you said you saw faces, where did you see the faces exactly?
You see them on the wall. There's faces on the wall.
Oh, okay.
You know? There is faces on the wall. I've seen them.
Is it
The
like a
last
stone
live.
wall?
It's an old stone wall. It's an old stone wall.
Wow.
And then after we heard hello, well, I did anyway. So did my grandson. We heard hello. After that, I heard the going right through my ear, you know. And I
So
says
you
to
heard it
my,
with your ears. This wasn't on a recorder, or was it on both the recorder and your ears?
no, it was on the live, but I don't know if people picked it up or no, because
Oh,
it went
okay. You
right
were
into
doing a
my ear.
live. Okay, I've
It was
watched
on
a
the live,
couple of
aye.
these. Are you using like your phone and just live streaming to Facebook and
Aye,
play? Yeah,
yeah.
okay. All right. Just so our, the other people in the audience understand what you mean when you say you were doing a live. So you were just live on site with your phone, and hello was coming through. We got a
There's
few
a lot
hellos
of
for
people
you
here.
out there. Anne-Marie Young says, love Liz Milne. Sandy Griffith says, hi, Chris, Kristen, and Elizabeth. And our friend Chris Garcia, the psychic. Hey, Chris, how
Hi,
you doing?
Chris.
Says,
Hi,
hi,
Chris.
everyone.
Hi.
Yes,
Hi,
Chris is
Chris.
all you people. Yes.
No, but I heard that getting in my ear, you know. And so I says to Tyler, Tyler, did you hear that? That sounded like a cat hissing in my ear, son. Did you hear that? And he went, no, but I heard that hello, Granny, and it was a man. I says, aye, so it was. And then we were busy just gabbing and talking away, and because it didn't frighten us, you know. So we were just gabbing and talking away, and then we just slowly walked calmly out of the graveyard. So we get out, and then one of the ladies, Catherine, she takes a lot of the photos. I've got a lot of photos right now. So she takes a lot of the photos, you know. Catherine does. And but Kerry Ann took photos as well, right enough. And and then Catherine put up that the wall was bad or something. And I says, oh, I says to Tyler, that wall was supposed to be bad, son. And then it was another message underneath was, it was a demon, Liz. That was a demon. You be careful. That was a demon, you know. I says, oh, a demon. All right. So we were still stoking about. We weren't in the graveyard, but we were at the gates, you know. We walked to the gates, and but I'd done the protection on my grandson and myself. I'd done all that protection at the end, and then we were in the gates, and I'm shining the torch down. Is it doing that end, Catherine? Because if we could go to the other end, you know. She went, no, I think it was following you, but I don't exactly know where it came from. It just came from nowhere, you know. And I thought it was funny.
You got some
So,
friends out here. Debbie Wallace Hagan says hello. Courtney Karras, hi, Liz Milne.
hi,
Kimmy Will,
Courtney.
hey, Liz.
Hi.
Mention of that
Hi,
cap ball. Yes,
Debbie.
the cap
Hi,
ball
Kimmy.
continues to go off on its own. Lots of comments out here. Just wanted to throw them up real quick. So this is really fascinating. And one of the questions I was going to ask you, because you had mentioned that you go with your grandson, and I think you said is he 10?
He's 10. He's here
10
just
years
now,
old.
right? I know.
And
He's
a lot
here
of
just
people in the
now.
paranormal get concerned. And I used to take my children to cemeteries when they were younger, and we never had a real problem with it, but I guess there's always the possibility of attachments and things like that. You mentioned you did a protection on him. What does that entail, and how did you come across using that?
Well, said prayers and put my hand in his head, put my hand in my head, put my hand over at the wall, the two walls, the two stone walls. It's just to say, you stay there, you know. And the Archangel Michael, I've asked for that Archangel Michael, but I did say a lot of prayers, and that Angel Michael, that was me protecting us all. So you know, that's how I done it anyway.
Excellent.
That's how I always do it.
So you haven't had any issues on these investigations with something coming home with you?
Well, I'm not sure about that. Right enough. What was it, Eunice? Eunice, that you heard the door going or something? The 3 knocks, wasn't it? And my daughter heard it on the Sunday, the next day. There was 3 knocks at the door. But you see, I couldn't hear too good at the time because my ears was quite bad, you see. So I'm in the kitchen and and I come back in and my daughter says, Mum, your door banged. I went, oh, right. Well, they should have rung the bell. So I'm ready to go to the outside door. And Eunice went, no, Mum, that's your living room door. And there was 3 knocks at that living room door. My daughter and my grandson heard it. I went, 3 knocks? All right. So I went to the living room door and I just opened it and I says, well, come on in. Help you just come in there, you know. That's the kind of things I do, right enough. I do that, you know.
Wow. Okay, but it doesn't sound like it was negative. Maybe just a knock at the door. Emery Young notes that cat ball is having lots of fun, and it really is
The
active
thing about
today.
that is we have three cat balls up there,
Mm.
and only one of them's going off, and there's one next to it. So
See, there it goes
there
again.
it goes.
It seems like that shelf has
interesting.
been more of the active shelves, and I don't know why. Maybe there's something on that shelf that it likes.
It
I'm
could
not
be.
sure.
It could be that could be a doorway or something, you know.
Yeah, we
That
get a
could
little
be a
strange
doorway.
activity. There's quite a few unusual objects up there, and we do mind that thing about attachments, and think that there's spirits always around us, and hopefully they're not negative. All right, because that's not a good experience. But
I don't have any haunted dolls. No, I don't. No, I don't have any haunted in my house. No,
we
like
believe
dolls
that
or
doll was
any haunted.
haunted only briefly, just for a short time.
No.
And it seemed to go away. And we do think that is something that can happen. So a haunted object doesn't necessarily have to stay haunted. And I don't believe like the spirit lives in whatever object it is 24/7. I would even go as far as to say something as extreme as like the Annabelle doll probably isn't have like a ghost stuck in it at all times, like a demon trying to hurt people, but seems to be a favorite of that otherworldly being.
All right. Well, no, I
Mhm.
don't have any attachments in that. No, in my house, no. But I do. You know, when I do my live, see, I believe in. Well, I'll tell you the truth. I was well, I've been in a few houses that's been haunted, right enough. Because my daughter here, she could tell you right enough. But the best one that I had was a split level house, because there was loads in there. I wouldn't have to go anywhere to do any lives or anything. That house is just enough, you know. So I'm hoping to get back into it to do a live right enough, because I've
What
seen
is it about the house that makes you feel that it's as haunted as it is? Does it have a history or just a place you happen to collect a lot of data?
Well, I was trying to find out about the history of Craigshull, but I couldn't find anything out about Craigshull. It only says it was hills. So I don't know. Everything else round about, there was history, but Craigshill there wasn't any history. I've tried everywhere to find all about Craigshill. But see, this was a mining village. There's miners used to be here, you know. They used to work in the mines here. Because this was, as I say, it was a mining village, you know. But they were seeing shadows, loads of orbs, and there used to be photos that fell off the wall quite a lot. My man, he was living at the time. He's no here now, right enough. But he was here at the time, and I says to him, Josh, put that photo up, you know. So he would bang and make sure it was upright, and then we'd turn my back and it would fall off the wall. We used to have loads of that. Photos falling off a wall. There was one time my son was sitting at the front of the fire, because we didn't have any heating at the time, you know, in the houses. It was only the fire we had, but it had the garden in front of it, and it was just sitting, getting a heat. And the next thing, the 3 photos fell, and the one in the middle was a big tiger one, and it was really thick wood, really thick wood. It fell on top of my son's shoulder, my oldest son, you know. So you'll never forget that, right enough. But the photos fell, things would go missing, different stuff like that. And there was another time I was in, it was no the split level house, it was another house. It was a house over here, right enough, you know, in the Adderwell. And I went to the toilet one day to wash her face, you know, and I just turned around dead slow. there was a man right behind me. It was a spirit man right. There was a man right behind me, and I just looked at him. He's looking at me, and I'm going, uh-huh. I got a shock at first, and I went, "What? How did you get in my house?" You know. And the
Yeah.
next minute, it wasn't there for long. It just like floated away. It was like as if something was taking him away, you know. But he was more shocked than I was. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
And then there was one time that there was a house in Glasgow. Me and my man were in the room, and we heard these footsteps coming down the hall, you know. So I says, "That's what there's somebody outside that door, George. You see?" He went, "I know, I hear that." Was so I shouted, "You want to come in? Do you want to come in? Come on in, you know." My man says, "Don't you dare! Don't you dare tell it to come in! Don't you dare!" He says. But it was funny times, you know, and everything. But I used to sit and talk to them. Everybody used to think I was bonkers, you know. They thought I was talking to the wall or the fridge freezer or the door, you know. No, I
Sure,
says, I know
sure.
who I'm talking to, and it's definitely know that, you know.
It's
Oh, I've
really
seen an
hard for
awful
people
lot.
that aren't involved in the paranormal, had the real true paranormal experiences that are just you cannot debunk, no matter how hard you try or explain properly to understand what that's like. It's hard for them to wrap their heads around it, you know, and like, oh, you must have just been seeing things. One thing you mentioned a little bit earlier was orbs in the woods. Were those like glowing lights or that sort of thing? Have you seen like glowing lights in the woods?
In the woods.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that around the split level house.
No, in the house. No, we've done the woods right enough. We have done the woods. We've done the psychiatric hospital. We've done the priory. We've done different things like that.
Mm,
But it's always me that sees things, if you know what I mean. And I can see them
yeah.
even before our lives even on them. Do you know what I mean? I can see them. As at the psychiatric hospital, there was a lady, like my older son and my friend Tracy. Well, they went to, I thought it was a telephone box that was bashed to bits, but it wasn't. It was a water pump. So they went to the water pump to see that, and then I just looked round, and it was this. Oh, she was gorgeous, a beautiful, beautiful lady, and she just came from behind the tree, and she walked down a wee bit, and I says, "Tracy, put your live over there at that corner because there's a lady that just came out behind the tree. She'd, you know, the long white, like the white nightgowns they used to wear. You know, they wear long white nightgowns that they used to wear at the time. And I mean, she'd long black hair. I always remember her. Well, she'll remember me if I get back there right enough. But I always remember her. She came out from a tree. So by the time Tracy put her live over, she she went away behind the tree. She would disappeared. But she stared at
Right.
me. But I think it's because I seen her. Then
Hmm.
another time at the priory, we were at the priory. We walked round. You could walk round the whole building. You know, it's quite a big building. We walked round at the back, and there was another figure. I seen it, I know, and it's standing. It was just standing at the wall. It was all a black figure. And I says, "Tracy, Tracy, look, there's a figure over there. I mean, it's staring at me. There's a figure. Look."
Yeah.
And then she put her live, but that's on the live right enough. That one's on the live. Um, it was, you know. But it's funny how I always see them and other people don't, unless it's on the live. But I
Well,
always
that's
see
like
them before that.
a clairvoyant like experience. So when you saw her initially and nobody else could see her, you're seeing her more like in a psychic way. So would you consider yourself psychic? I guess would be my question.
What was that?
Would you consider yourself psychic or clairvoyant? Like
No, I
when you
don't
said
think I
you
don't.
saw her, maybe nobody else saw her. You were able to see her though. Was that
I know
a
I've seen a lot
clairvoyant
right enough, but no, I don't call myself anything really. Everybody says you've got a gift, Liz. I says no, I don't think I've got a gift. She went. Everybody says it to me that I've got a gift, but I don't see myself as any gifts or anything, having gifts or anything like that. I just seem to see them, and I don't know why. I don't know why, right? But I have seen, when I was 6, I seen real fairies. I did see real fairies, right enough. And these fairies, they're dead. They're very, very tiny. To let you explain, very, very tiny. They're no big or anything. They're really tiny. Um, and they came to me for a week. Now, I went and told my mother and father, I seen the fairies last night. Oh, you must have just been dreaming, they said. You know, they wouldn't take it in that I had seen them and everything. So I says, oh, well, never mind. I'm enjoying here. I'm enjoying it. It was dead bright and it was really colourful. It was really lovely. So
Now,
I had seen
how tall were they? When you say they're really small,
very, very small.
like
Let's see now. Fairies are small, right enough. I would explain them. I don't know if it's like your finger, maybe. As
okay,
small as
so
that.
just a
Aye, I
few
think so,
inches or
aye.
centimeters, then, right? I guess,
Sorry?
and just a few inches, which is an American measurement, or centimeters in metric. So very,
I
very
don't know.
tiny, like the size of
Aye,
a large
very
butterfly.
tiny, but I don't know anything about the meters or anything like that.
Of
Um,
the length of your
I,
finger.
I'm not that bright.
What did they look like? What were they wearing?
They
The
were all
fairy.
wearing different coloured clothes, as if I can mind you. One was in green, one was in white, one was in red, all
Wow.
different colours, right? Or like wee dresses and stuff. Oh, I always remember, I'll never forget them. The wee wings at the back, and
I was going to ask.
they were all doing zigzags on my bed and everything.
Mm,
So they appear
But
to you
I'll
kind of
never
in the way
forget
we
it.
see them in art. I mean, we see a picture or a drawing of a fairy
right.
with the wings and maybe flowing clothes. That is how they appear to you.
Well, one that we got the doorbell in, the doorbell, and you can see stuff at night and that. And then I remember my son came in and he went, "Look, Mum," because I hadn't been on the phone then. I says, "What is it?" And he went, "Look." And there was one went flying past the door in like a wee one. And I went, uh-huh. And to me, that was fairies. That looked like two fairies. Because I'll never forget, they were white, right enough. But I'll never forget the fairies. That's one thing I'll never ever forget. But
That's awesome.
I always think it's they're the ones that's protecting me. That's what I think. They're protecting me when I'm doing lives or maybe going into danger or whatever.
Mhm.
Like that Hassan, there's supposed to be a demon or something. But I'll know but I always think it's the fairies that's protecting me because there was another encounter in Craigshull. See, when I went in at first, it was pure black. I mean, no, don't know my house, but the darkness was there. And I'll relate to when somebody says to me dark and light, I'll relate to that because I know what they're meaning. Night and day. Well, it's no night and day, but dark and light because it happened to me. And I was in the kitchen and it was pure, really dark, really dark. But I was just sitting talking anyway. That's the way I do. But I had to go up the stair for something because I forgot. So I had to go up the stair and just at the living room door there was two red. Well, I don't know. If there may have been two red lights, but to me there were two red eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sounds ominous.
and I'm standing looking at it. So I went, uh-huh. So at first I got a shock. Then I went, mm-hmm. So I went, well, you're no here for any party, so you're going, And, I don't know if I've done the right thing. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I've done the right thing, Chris, but I walked right through it. I did. I walked right through it. I got the shock right enough, but I walked right through the eye things. And the
Did you
next,
feel anything?
when I turned round, it disappeared.
It was
But
gone.
as I say, I don't know if I've done the right thing because I don't know if it went away up the stair. I know it disappeared, but I don't know if it went up the stair, you see. But see, when I'd done that, after I'd done that, the whole place went lightness for some reason, and the darkness just disappeared. So I couldn't understand that myself, as I say, because I wasn't, I didn't know about lives or anything like that. Oh, I was doing this my wee ghost thing, as I used to say. Well, I'm going down the stairs to all the family, and I said, I'm going down to do my wee ghost thing. And all I had was a camcorder, right? And a camera. That's all I had. And do you know that camera picked quite a lot of photos up? That's how I believe in cameras and photos, because to me, photos don't lie, But that's what
Right.
I done. Aye. That's what I used to do in Craigshull.
Right.
So
And
then it
ghost
went
photos
light, and I went, my God.
are kind of hard to get, right? It seems easier, at least in our experience, to get things like EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, spirit box data than an actual picture of, a ghost or a spirit. Linda Judd had a question for you. She asked, Elizabeth, when you see ghosts, have you been able to talk to them?
Oh, well, I have. I used to do that when I was down the stair, sitting at my table, and that's what I used to do. I used to sit and talk about all different stories and probably a load of rubbish, But I used to talk and talk away to them to my heart was content. And to me, they were listening, I think they were all around me listening right enough. Maybe even kids, But I used to sit and talk to them all the time. They didn't come out the first time though, for a while, but they started coming out more regular, actually. Every time I was sitting in the kitchen talking away to them, I would see a wee bit more coming out and a wee bit more. Do you know what I mean? It's like shadows, right enough. It was shadows, right enough. And I used to sit and talk to them. I used to sit and talk to them, right enough. I used to say, "You, my friend,"
Kristen does a lot of talking to spirits in her house.
I do.
Yeah, I think that it creates a certain bond, but it's like the attention, causes them to be drawn closer. So I guess a word of advice to be careful who you talk to, right?
It's true, true. I
Or
could have been
how
talking to
friendly.
anybody. I could have been talking to bad ones and I didn't even know.
Right. Sometimes you don't know. The only time we had a problem with attachments from investigating, or the times that we did, was mostly, I think, because we gave it so much attention, because we were obsessed with some of the data we got. It just kept making us ask more questions about it, that the stuff really came home with us. that was tough to shake. But at the same time, I think everybody I think ghosts are kind of everywhere. Certainly some locations are more haunted than others, are known for specific spirits or whatever it is, but they're around us. I think so.
Well, my daughter, she's here now, you see. And but I'll tell you, what we did see was a big skeleton hand in my back door, right? And I says, because we went to the next day, and I went, what on earth is that in that door? And my daughter says, that's like a skeleton hand, Mum. I went, what? So I tried to wash it off. Not really come off. Stayed there for a while too. A big skeleton hand that was on the door, on the back door, and everything. So, and the photos I took was unbelievable. It really was. I remember, when I got the photos developed, I was a bit disappointed because it was all just white lights. It was just white lights. There wasn't any faces or anything at first. It was just white lights. So I just put them on the table And then a good while after that, my daughter went down the stair and she says, Mum, you know, 'cause she get the shock of her life. I says, what is it? She went, look at these photos. I swear to God. And shit, there were all the faces were coming out and everything, you know. But the photos that I took, oh, I don't know how to explain this. It was like way back in the day, if you know what I mean. It wasn't just 50s or 60s. I'm talking about way back further than that. Like a Robin Hood or a Maid Marian or stuff like that. That was the photos I took. It was unbelievable. I can always remember the guy, and it was in my backyard, and he had a green jacket on, and you know the green hats with the feather things or something. He had the red beard, pointed down, and the red, you know, curl moustaches and the red hair. I'll never
Wow.
forget that. And they came
With
out
the
in
hat
colour,
with the
you know.
feather. Yeah.
And they came out in colour.
Yeah.
I couldn't
That's
believe it, you know.
Wow.
But
Now,
do
is
you want
this
to
something
talk to my
you
daughter,
saw
Chris?
when you were younger, or something that you saw you just recognized as being very old?
No, that's when I stayed in Craigshull.
Okay.
I was younger then, right, you know. But no,
Not
I
like a
had my
child,
family,
though.
right, you know.
Okay.
I'd say a bit in my 30s or something, you know. I had my
Mhm.
family, and
Nice.
my man, God rest his soul, right enough, but he's seen shadows and everything too. It wasn't just me, right enough. My daughter, I don't know if she's seen any shadows, but she knew about, she had TV handprints. She had that in her wall, up in her room, like wee child's handprints, and I wiped them off, and I couldn't get them off either. Wee child handprints. She's seen stuff. My son, he's seen a lot. My older son's seen a lot. Uh, my my niece and nephew, they've seen a lot too. Everybody had seen something in that house. You know, it wasn't just me, as I say. Everybody did.
Sounds
So
really active.
I must admit, this was funny, right? The workman came in because he had to fix the boiler. So I says, oh, well, see, the boiler's away at the top of the stairs, you know, because this split level house have got a lot of stairs. And he went away up. I fixed the boiler right enough. But you know, I've never seen anybody come running down these stairs as fast as in all my life. And I says to him, what's wrong? I says, you run down these stairs. He went, aye. How can you stay in this house? How can you stay in this house? He says. I says, what? I says, it's a house. And he went, I don't know how you can stay here. He says, because there was a woman come up my ear and whispered in my ear. Now, where the hell did that come from? He says, he got the shock of his life, and that was a work guy, you know. I says, oh, maybe that's Margaret, you know. And he looked at me as though I was stupid, you know. But I was, I loved that house. I loved that house.
When did you first notice spirits and paranormal things? Did you have experiences as a child? That's where I was going before.
The very first house I got in Glasgow.
What happened?
I used to go to my mother's with my two children, and my neighbour's daughter used to watch my house and her boyfriend, and they watched my house for me. I remember Lorraine, her name was, and she came. So they watched it for a while, but here one day she came running down the road, and I says, and her face was chalk white, and I says, what's wrong? She went, there was wind going down your hall. I couldn't get out that window quick enough. I wouldn't go out in your hall. I came out the window. I says, what? So I went, right, that's fine. So I went to the door, and it was only a Yale lock, you know, just a Yale lock. I put the key in the door, I couldn't even open it. It took 2 hours before I get in that house. So I went into my neighbour, well, my friend, Sandra, and I says to Sandra, I can't get that door to open. What's wrong? She went, Liz, your house is haunted. I hate to tell you that, but your house is haunted. You've got ghosts in your house. Oh, I says, have I? Because she had one in her house. It was a child. If she put the light off, the child would cry. But if she put the light on, there wasn't anything. Aye. So I don't know where it all came from, right enough. I couldn't tell. I really don't know. All of a sudden, this is all happening, you know. I'm saying, how's this all happening to me? I don't understand this. There was a man there, because I seen a man right enough. And the photos fell off the wall at that time as well. That was the time I was telling, but me and my man was in the room. And when I says, when we heard the footsteps coming and I'm shouting to just come in here, see who you were, you know. But that was the first house. The second house was up the road. We got that one. And that was in Kempston. I remember one time, to cut a story short, well, it was in that house that my son, the 40 fell on top of his shoulder, right? But I remember one time, we were in we went to my friend's. So I says, I had a strange feeling, I need to get back to my house. So I went back, but my son was in the house. My nephew was supposed to be watching him, but anyway, never mind. So he was lying on the couch, and I says to him, so I says, if you're hungry, come on, we'll get something to eat. So we went into the kitchen. Now, there used to be bolts outside the doors. I don't know why, what the reason was for that. I really don't know. But anyway, we went into the kitchen. It was just me and him in the house. We went in the kitchen. I just shut the kitchen door. We had something to eat. I went to the door, and I couldn't get the door opened. We were locked in the kitchen. We're actually locked in that kitchen. I says, what the hell's going on here? You know, excuse me, right enough. I was going to be a bit thingy, but I said, what's the matter with this door? Couldn't get the door opened. No. We were stuck in the kitchen for a wee while. I says, this is no use. Well, what I ended up smashing the window. I smashed the window.
Oh,
With a
wow.
wee porthole window, I smashed that and took the glass out, and I put my son through the window because he was the only one he could get through the window. I put him through the window, so he opens the door, but it was quite dark, so he was a wee bit frightened. But anyway, he opens the door. That was my older son, and then he went in, and then I said to myself, Charles, open the door, son. I'm stuck in this kitchen, and he went, hold on, Mum, because he had to get a chair, you see. So I says, what you want a chair for? He says, just hold on, Mum. So he gets up. I had to unbolt the door. The door was bolted on the outside. I went, what? It was only me and him. It was in the house. And the door was
Wow.
bolted on the outside. I could not believe it. You know? Well, he's there and all. He'll maybe come on sometime and tell you, Chris. Anyway, so I couldn't believe it. And then the 40s fell in that house as well. Always the 40s fell, our stuff went missing. So, as I said, then we moved to there and we went to the Craigshull house. And in the Craigshull house, that's when I seen things. That's when I started seeing things. I don't know if it was leading up to that right enough, you know, with all the things that was happening, you see. Just it started off just like things would just go missing, or the 40s fell off the wall, footsteps and all that kind of stuff. It was just things like that. That was in Glasgow. But it wasn't. I got to Craigshull, the big split level house. That's when I seen a lot of things. I seen an awful lot of things. I even, me and my friend were sitting in the kitchen, and it was a man that was at the gate, you know, the back gate. So I went away. June says, there's a man at the gate. She even seen him and all. So I went away out. The man wasn't there. He was disappeared. I says, Jean, where did that man go? Because he couldn't have. It was just like he disappeared. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Jean
Yeah.
went, what? Because you would have seen him, Liz. I went, I know. Disappeared.
Wow.
You
And,
saw
and
him
funny
and
enough,
he
it
was
was
just gone.
always men I seen. I never really seen women. It was always men, you know. So
Interesting.
I always seen that the one women letting up at the psychiatric hospital, but it was always men, right enough, you know. So
Well, that's really interesting. So you had those experiences, and when did you start wanting to record them? Was it things like TV shows or books you read that inspired you to become more of a paranormal investigator?
I used to watch Most Haunted. I
Mhm.
watched Most Haunted a lot with Vet Fielding, and you know. So I watched Most Haunted, and then I says, I'm gonna. Well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put my. So one time, that's what I says. I set my camcorder up, and I just done my own ghost thing. You know, I never told anybody. It was only my family, my friends that knew, but I never told anybody, like outside. You know, like strangers. Never told anybody because I thought they're going to think I'm stupid. You know, so I done my own. As I say, I done my own ghost thing in my own house, but it was just the camcorder. Camcorder picked a few things up as well. Because we had a lot of orbs, but the orbs only came from one side of the wall, just the one side. No orb round the wall, just the one side of the wall, where
That's
the glass door was. That's where the orbs came from. I remember it was me, my man, and my friend Jean. We were in the kitchen, we got talking away. So Jean went up the stair to get something, and Nor followed her. she, she would have, oh shit, because she didn't like that, right enough. When my man went up the stair and the orb followed him. And these orbs were following him, you know. And then there was one time I seen it was a thing that came up and it came down the wall. It was like a man sitting in a chair or something. Like a man sitting in a chair, you know. I says, what in the earth's this? And it all came down,
It's not an orb.
just different things like that, right enough, you know. But that house was the best house. To see that split level house, believe me, If if I was to stay alive in that house, if I could stay in that house for a week at least, I swear to God, I would catch a lot of things, you know. And I would take photos of the back again, what I used to do in the backyard. I swear to God, loads, and I'm not joking, because I've got my new camera now, so I'm ready and rolling to take all my photos again, you know.
I think that's great, and I love that you're out there
But
doing
no, I
doing these
loved it.
lives. Mhm. What would you say is your favorite
But
piece of
when I
equipment?
first my camera.
Your camera? Now, when you say camera, is that
Honestly, my
a
camera.
camcorder or
The
just something
EVP
that
is good,
snaps
right
film?
enough. I've got an EVP.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got an EVP machine. That's good, right enough to talk to them. But I wished I had that. The EVP, I wished I had when I was talking to them at the time, because I would have probably picked up a lot, you know. But because you can talk to them, but they wouldn't know they would know what you're talking about. But I couldn't, you know. All they could do is shake their heads or something because they can't really talk to you back. You know what I mean? So they're in another place, you know. So, uh, but I wished I had the VP machine then, but I didn't know anything about that right enough at the time, you know. I just done my own ghost thing, and I was quite happy, you know. So,
When you say EVP
um,
machine, are you talking about a
A
digital
recorder?
recorder, or is it another
I a
kind of device?
digital recorder, AVPI.
Okay, no, that's fine. I mean, there's a lot of stuff when you
Mm.
go on some of the ghost type websites. You know, I sometimes miss some of the
Well, see,
technology.
I, I've not got a lot of equipment, no. I've got my camera, yes.
Mhm.
I've got my camcorder, yes. I've got the ball thing, yes. The I got that off of Jesse Stewart. the ball, and there's a light thing, and there's something else. But I use the ball a lot,
A
and
bowl?
I've got the EPP machine,
Oh,
and
the
I think
ball.
that's all I really need. I don't need a lot of stuff. As long as I've got my camera, I'm happy.
That's cool.
An
So the
EVP
camera is your
machine,
favorite. I
you
should
know,
have
that I
talked to you
can
a little
hear
bit
them better.
beforehand about sharing some pictures we could have
Yeah.
put up that you liked, and so I apologize for that. We had a very hectic week this week, and I know we
Aye,
say
that's
that a
all
lot,
right.
but it
That's
was
fine.
kind of busy. There's our ball again,
That's the second one.
sporadically going off.
There's one next to it. That one, the other one was the one going off first.
Oh yeah, there's two right
So
next to
there's
each
two
other.
right next to each other. So I like
There's
how
actually
they
a couple
picked
on the other shelves as well. So it's always interesting to see if any phenomena happens. I don't know if you remember, Liz. I know you've seen a lot of our shows, but there was a time for like a month our camera would move
it.
on
Yeah.
its own, and we had a hard time debunking that because the camera is on a
Yeah.
camera stand. It's not connected to this table or anything. You know, I can bang the table, which sets the cat ball up on the table, but not on the bookshelf. But the camera stays steady because it's on a tripod outside of it. So
You don't think it's because you've got these things, but what is it you've got there? Is it dolls? Did you say you've got dolls or
there's
something?
ghosts, there's an old Ouija board. There's a lot of stuff up there.
I see.
Yeah, there's different
Yeah.
things.
It's
A very
Could
interesting
be
book
that,
collection
maybe.
as well.
Would you want to talk to my daughter, and she'll tell you a few things? Have you got time?
Oh, sure.
Sure.
Yeah, we have time. Absolutely. You can put your daughter on.
Susie wants to say, just for a minute, Eunice. Fine. Oh, you might
Just
talk to. Right, here's my grandson. My daughter doesn't want to. Oh, I don't know
Sure.
what's
Have
the
him come on
matter
and
with
say
me.
hi. We would like that.
so that was weird because it chose the other one this time.
I see that. I see that.
Hi.
I can...
Hi.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm Tyler. I'm doing good.
Nice to meet you,
Um,
Tyler. Do you have
soon
fun
I'm gonna
going? Do you have fun
soon I'm
going out
gonna
looking for ghosts?
I'm gonna tell you what I've been seeing in my room and what I've been hearing.
Oh,
Okay.
It's
okay.
quite a lot. So basically, what I've been hearing in my room is basically so I would wake up in the middle of the night, like weird feeling in my stomach, and I would hear whispering from like very at the edge of my bed. I would get this horrible feeling, and I just did not want to like get out of bed or anything. So then what I would do is I would just try go back to sleep. So then I went to sleep and I woke up again, this time with scratches on the door.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
And I don't know, I think because I've got 3 cats and I don't know if it was the cats because the door was shut.
Mhm.
And then the something like a flashing light from outside of my window started flashing on and off.
oh boy.
And
Wow. That sounds a little spooky.
I looked out and there was nothing there. So then what I was doing is I just went back to sleep again. I woke up about 3 in the morning and I was going to the bathroom. I was hearing like, oh, I heard creaks on the door. Like the phone fell there. So then what I done is I quickly went in the bathroom, I locked the door. So then I done that and I came back out and in the hall there was something at the end. It was like a big, tall kind of man standing there.
Oh.
So then I went back in the room quickly, shut the door quietly, and then I jump into bed, and then I went to sleep. And then the next night, I was hearing scratches on the door again.
And you don't think it was
So I
your
thought it's probably just Yeah, I thought it was probably just the cats, like maybe again. But then I heard whispering coming from like right at the edge of the bed, but it was like a man and a woman, and they were talking to each other,
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to ask you, if they
and
were talking to you or talking to each other. So what were they saying? Do you
yeah, they were
remember any
talking to each.
of what they said?
Well, I think they were in a different language. I don't. All I heard was like mumbling, like whispering and stuff. It was complicating, really strange. Like
Yeah.
I really thought it was all in my head, or maybe it was some kind of dreamer or something I was in. So then I just went back to sleep like I had done before, and then I woke up with this hefty feeling that I was getting watched. And at the door, I would see shadows at the door, like big, big tall
Hmm.
figures.
Little.
And the big figures, they would just stand there. And I didn't know if it was real or fake. I thought it was maybe just my mind, but it wasn't.
Oh, we believe you.
So they were just watching me. So then I went back to bed, and then I woke up in the morning, and I woke up and then I went in the living room, and then I'd seen like the cats. My cats were like they've seen a ghost.
They
So
look
they did.
frightened.
They looked scared, like like they had seen something while I was gone. And
I think you're very
I
brave for being able to go back to bed after seeing some of these
This
things
stuff.
and hearing the whispering. That happened to me
yeah,
last night. I
and
think I don't think I slept at all.
nobody believed me, apart from my gran.
Oh, we believe you.
We believe you.
We had a
Mm.
lot of childhood experiences ourselves, and they were spooky, sometimes scary, and
Mm.
sometimes not as scary. But that's very interesting, and especially the conversation
What's
and
that, gran?
that's a little spooky.
They were talking to
Oh,
each other.
Yes,
bye. I think my gran wants to say
it's
something.
nice,
Thank you so much. It was
nice to talk to you, Tyler. Thank you.
Sorry, Chris.
Oh, don't be sorry. It
Don't
was
be
wonderful.
sorry.
I liked his insight and his experiences. I think
He
childhood
has had
is like a certain
lot of
portal
experiences,
of
right enough.
experience. Like I know Kristen and I had a lot of childhood experiences, and as you
Eh,
did, as a lot of our guests have,
Hmm.
it's one of the things that I think makes people want to investigate or learn about as adults, because some of these experiences happened, or that are hard to explain. And I don't know if it's that or if there's some other connection. Perhaps a person is more connected to, say, the other side, and it shows up in childhood, and that's why people are interested as adults in the same way.
He's a bit like myself. He's got the gift, like myself. So, well, I've not got. I don't say I have gifts, but the my grandson has got the gift. He has got the gift, right enough, But
And
we'll have to go shortly because we're going to have to do our live. Sorry,
Oh,
that is
that's
okay.
great.
my
That's
daughter
That is
okay.
keeps
okay.
on at me so I've got to do a live. You see,
We've enjoyed talking to you, Liz. It's really
Absolutely. Thank you.
fun to do, and we appreciate you coming on and watching our shows. And I know you watch a lot of our friend shows out there too. We saw obviously Chris Garcia out there, and as well as
The Wizard's
the Wizard's Table
Table.
is watching us on
Oh,
Twitch.
Ken, I love Ken.
Ken,
He's
Ken
brilliant.
Allen, we love him. He's one of our
I know.
favorite people out there, and this and Amber Young. So we had a really good time. We really appreciate you coming on and talking and sharing your experiences with us. Real quick, for people who don't know that are in the audience, I know quite a few people on today in our chat, where should they go and see your live? So is your Facebook the best place?
Facebook. It's always a Facebook. Tracy and Agnes's group. Tracy and Agnes's group. That's where I put my live on. Tracy and Agnes's group. So
Okay.
it's
That is excellent. And lots of thank yous out there. And Tim Smith and
Anne-Marie
Melissa
Young.
Hui, Anne Marie Young.
hello,
And
Anne Marie.
Oh, yes.
we love Anne Marie.
Yes, she's
Oh,
she's
she's
a-
brilliant. She is brilliant. Oh, she is. Aye. She came
Mhm.
on to Chris's chat room and she was talking about it. She was really good, you know.
Mhm.
Yes.
Was well, give a shout out to Debbie, Kimmy, Chris, Courtney, everybody in the chat room. I can't remember all the names, but everybody in the chat room, I give a shout out to. They're really brilliant. They're fantastic, you know.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Donna.
Absolutely. There's a great community out there, and
yes.
a lot of it is centered around Facebook, and now we're seeing Twitch and YouTube starting to
Oh,
come
I
up,
know
and
Twitch is good.
it's wonderful. You know, people get to communicate and share their experiences, and we get the pleasure of talking to a lot of amazing people, which is, you know, we're thankful for. So
Yes, we're
we thank
grateful.
you for joining us.
Thank you
We'll be
again.
looking for your live tonight on Facebook.
Mhm.
Hope so.
People can look for Liz Milne, and I believe you are Liz, Liz, Milne.
Liz, Liz, Lizmilne. That's Liz
Okay.
Millen.
Yes, very good. So this will also become like an audio podcast. You need to spell things out for people
Yeah.
sometimes because they can't see us, you know, talking about it. And this is wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you
it was
again,
wonderful
Liz.
to talk to Tyler as well.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
We'll let you go. We're probably going to have a fairly short show today because we're going to celebrate Kristen's birthday.
All
Happy
right.
birthday to you. Hey, she's only 29, Liz.
Again.
Happy birthday, Kirsten.
Thank
Happy
you, Liz.
birthday.
Thank you so much.
And thank
Be
you
a
so much.
wee few thingies on in your messenger. You know, maybe a few
Yes.
gifts.
Excellent.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday
Thank you.
ones.
Oh, we love them. Thank
No
you.
problem.
Yes.
Every
And I
day,
share
yeah.
out all your stuff as much as I can as well. Everybody's,
Oh.
you know.
Yeah,
I
we
do that
appreciate
as
that. We
well.
saw there
I
were
know,
people
I'm
out
just
there sharing
coming.
today. Thank you. All
Right.
right.
Okay. I better go.
All right.
Okay, annoyed with me.
Thanks.
Have fun tonight.
Yeah.
I
Have a
will
great
do.
time.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Liz.
Melissa, she sent 50 stars. Melissa who?
Oh, thank you, Melissa, for sending stars. I'm assuming that's on our Paralinks channel, and
It's
we
right there,
really
yes.
appreciate it.
I just wanted to make sure that
Thank
we
you. It
did show
that helps everybody and supports the network.
Para Unity.
Para Unity, baby.
Mhm.
And yeah, we were just wanted to, you know, talk to some of you guys. We love talking to everybody. We appreciate everybody joining. We didn't have a lot of other stuff set up for the show today, and like I said, it's
We're
Kristen's
actually
birthday
thinking
tomorrow.
about doing a fan appreciation,
Like a listener appreciation
not fan, listener
show, and
Yeah.
Liz popped into mind because we see her, and I know she goes on a lot of the shows, and our friends and a lot of our co-hosts out there, our fellow hosters are in there. So we love to keep the community together. I hope you enjoyed the cat ball back there. It's interesting that it's bounced from one to the other.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I wanted to say. The cat ball I was seeing earlier, it actually, after I had pointed it out that there was another one there, it actually started. The other one started.
It switched.
Yeah.
It switched, but the ones on this side didn't go off at all.
No, and this
on the other side with the doll.
They usually don't.
So that's interesting. You know,
Oh,
there it goes now. Yeah. So yeah, perhaps we have a bigger audience than we planned on.
There you go. We have no vibrations or anything going on here, not in the house. So
exactly, and it's stable. So it's interesting. Let us know your thoughts, and we will be back on Thursday with the Dark Horse Paranormal Podcast live, and also next Saturday we have a great lineup coming up in the next month. Our friend Gail Heison's going to join us again from the podcast Small, Medium, at Large.
Yes.
We love Gail. She's awesome. We have parapsychologist Lloyd Aubach on our roster coming up as well. So that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
As well as plenty of other folks, and hopefully be able to present some more data and research for you guys. Right now, we've been focused a lot on dream research and hemisync is a thing. Also, like dreams are relating to like timelines and consciousness, and you'll hear us speak more about that. But we hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye, guys. We love you.
Love you. See you next
Happy
time.
Saturday, and thank you for the birthday wishes.